everyone, welcome to Everyday Gourmet. I'm Katie, and on this episode I'm going to show you a Caribbean style dish. It's going to be panko-crusted pork chops and a ginger pineapple salsa. And the very first thing I'm going to do to get us started is take a fresh pineapple. So now that I have both sides flat, I'm going to take my knife and just go down the sides and run through. And this pineapple ginger salsa is really going to complement our pork chops nicely. Traditionally, pork chops are served with an apple side dish, and actually that dates back in time when some of the sanitary processes weren't as good, and it was believed that apples could help fight off some of the bacteria that used to be held in pork. And so by making this pineapple side dish to go with your pork, it's a really cool twist on something kind of traditional. Now, I'm just going to turn the pineapple on the side, and I'm going to cut off this extra end here, and you just start going through in about ½ inch to an inch chunks. It doesn't matter because this is going to reduce in a pot. On the middle, there is this kind of like, almost like a rind, like a core, but that is edible, so it is fine to eat, but it can be a little bit tough. So I'm just going to take a paring knife and go right around through in there. I really encourage you to try theme nights like this because it kind of challenges your cooking. Okay, just getting that out of there. Now I'm just going to take my knife and make these into little cubes. I'm just going to start here and go through just like that. Turn it on the side. And what I'm also going to do is add some ginger to this, because that will give it a nice kick and kind of a nice combination of flavors too. Okay, it's perfect. And so for ginger, I'm just going to chop off a small sized piece. And actually the skin on ginger is so tender that you can take it right off just with this little knife, or you can even use a spoon. And it just kind of peels right off. It's really nice. And now I'm going to chop this into long strips, because I want this ginger to be minced, basically. So I'm going to start off by doing this, and just get it as thin as I can, then line it up, and then chop it in long strips. And this is called the julienne style. So you chop it like that, it'll be julienne. Okay, I can also smell that ginger, it smells awesome. Okay, I'm just going to add that in with this pineapple. Okay, I'm going to get it in the stove. Okay. And I'm also going to add about 2 teaspoons of sugar. Get this heating up here. About medium-high would be good because you want it to come to a boil first. Okay, and I'm also going to add about 3/4 cupfuls of water. And the final thing would be about 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to let that chill out, and we'll keep an eye on it, and I'm going to grab my ingredients for making the pork chops. Okay, so I have our pineapple ginger salsa back on the stove. That's going to heat for about 30 minutes. I'm just going to keep an eye on medium-high. And in the meantime, I have assembled all the ingredients for the panko-crusted pork chops. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do is open up my pork chops, and I'm actually going to take some plastic wrap and layer them in between some pieces and pound it out to a smaller size. And also I have some flour, 2 eggs, some panko breadcrumbs, and also a little bit of cumin to add more of a Caribbean feel to it. So I'm going to lay out 2 to start off with. Right now these are about 1 inch thick, but I want to get them down to about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to try to make them flatten out for me. You can also use wax paper, and that's probably preferable, but sometimes it's easier and more economical to buy plastic wrap because you can use it for so many more things. It's just nice to have, but it works perfect for this. So you're just going to basically take out some aggression. Just want to see it start pounding out. It's kind of fun. It's enjoyable. Okay, awesome. That was fun. So I'm going to take these out and lay them on my cutting board here. Just toss this. And I'm just going to salt and pepper them just a little bit. Okay. Some pepper on there, and don't be shy with the seasonings. More pepper. And this pork, once it gets all fried up, it'll be nice and savory and really complement the pineapple ginger salsa nicely. More salt. And this is actually a very cheap meal. Besides the pineapple, which you can buy canned to save a little money there, it's really easy to make this meal at home, but it can be turned into a pretty gourmet meal by adding a couple extra touches. Okay, so I'm just going to crack 2 eggs in a bowl and whisk those up. And they are going to serve kind of as the glue for the rest of our ingredients. Perfect. Okay, I'm just going to take a fork and use it just like I would a whisk, basically. And it's nice to do it like this because it just is an easy, quick way to do it. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to get everything else ready. Just kind of make a little assembly line and just work my way down. I just have some regular flour, just enough to cover the pork chops. And I have some panko breadcrumbs. These are Japanese-style breadcrumbs, and they're really cool because they don't have any dairy. And if you have anybody that's got a dairy allergy, like my roommate, it's a really awesome way to use it, and they can still have things that they couldn't normally have with other breadings and mixtures for these type of things. And then this is so cool. This is a little packet of cumin, and they sell it at the grocery store, and it's really cool if you're trying out a new spice and you're not sure about it, and you just want to give it a shot and see if you like it. And it's just a little, it comes in a tablespoon size. And I'm going to add this to our panko breadcrumbs. I'm just going to take my fork and toss it around to get it nice and incorporated. This is a really cool flavor combination with the pineapple ginger salsa too. Speaking of which, let me just check on that and give it a quick stir. Okay, it's looking good. It's reducing a little bit. Just keep an eye on it. You don't want it to get too dry. And if you start to see that it does, go ahead and add a little bit more water. While I'm over here, I'm going to go ahead and heat up our pan for the pork chops. Let's see. You want that on about medium. You want the pan nice and hot when you first add them. I'm going to stick a little canola oil in there and let that be heating up. Perfect. Okay. So, basically you just start and work your way down. Take your pork chop, run it through the egg mixture, get both sides nice and covered. Okay. Next, it goes into your flour. Perfect, looks good. Just get both sides. And finally, into that panko cumin mixture. There we go. And really press it in because you want it to be nice and crunchy. And the panko breadcrumbs will really give it a nice crunch. I've gotta be there by afternoon. I'm going to bring these over to the pan and go ahead and get them in and let them get nice and crusty. And it should take about 5 minutes. Just keep an eye on them and turn them when you need to. Okay, so the pork chops are nice and brown on both sides, and the pineapple ginger salsa has reduced a little bit and gotten nice and sweet. I'm going to go ahead and plate it up. I'm excited. I'll try a little bit of both together. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.